Hello, this is Gavin. I'm going to talk about maps and searching. Maps provide a really nice way of visualizing sets of events. Let's start with the histogram. As I mouse over, you can see the number of events in each time bucket. If I click on one of the bars in the histogram, I'm taken to the first event in that time bucket. Underneath are the maps. Here are a few default maps for incident events, anomalies, and events of error or greater severity. I can control the default maps through the watches drop-down. So let's bring in exceptions. And there's our exceptions map. You can use the filter buttons to only see events in a map. Clicking here will show me events of great error or greater severity. And turning it off will go back to showing me all events. Similarly, I can press this button to filter out events of error or greater severity from my view. You can also create maps of your own. There are a few ways to do this. Let's create a search map. Clicking here allows you to enter full PCRE2 syntax compliant regex searches. So for example, I'm going to search for the word MS in lowercase with spaces around it. And now I've just created a track which has only events that match this search term, and you can see I'm filtered on it, and that's all the events that we see in the screen. They all have that expression in it. I can turn off the filter and see all my events. To delete a map that you've just created, you can hit the X button on the right hand side of the maps, so we no longer have that one. And I can create as many of these as I want, and here you can save them so that you can easily load them next time. A quick sidebar. As you know, a key piece of what Zebrium does is uses machine learning to automatically parse and learn the structure and categorize each event. So let's mouse over this event, and you can see there's some text in white and there's some text in blue. The text in blue represents pieces that we've picked up as variables in the event, and the text in white represents the event type. It's the fixed text of the event. So in a moment I'll show you how to create a map with the event type that matches the fixed text in this event. So we'll only see events of this type. Let's have a look at the variables. So here's an interesting one. This is an event type that's called something like scanned and compared, and you can see another instance of it just above. In this case, you have this word, delete cached group not in. In this one it says find groups to update, and you can see the word update is here, and here it's delete. They're variables. So let's say I want to create a map with all events of this type where this value of the variable is update. So what I do is I click create map, and because I did it by mousing over that variable, you can see it says events of this type, scanned and compared, where string 3, which is the variable in that position, we give it an internal name, in this case it's just called str03, equals update. Of course I could use one of the other operators. So let's go ahead and create that map, and now the map has been created and we're filtered only on maps of that type where this word equals update, and there you have it. Now this time I'm going to create a map of the event type scanned and compared. Before I moused over the variable update, this time I'm going to mouse over the fixed text scanned and compared, the white text. So I say create map, and here you see it says eType equals, and that's our internal name for that event type. I can pick a color, green. Now just a side note, this is a drop down, so if I wanted to pick one of the other variables in the event, I could do so from here and set a value, but I'll just say create map, and here it is in green, eType equals, and the name of that event type, and you can see the track over there. So let me turn off the filter, and I'll create one last map of the day. This time, I'm going to create a map of a variable, an integer variable. So let's mouse over this integer variable 95 and say create map. And I have a few choices here. I can create a max, a min, or greater than or equal to a particular value, or whichever operator I choose. Let's create a max track, and I'll make it purple. So let's go ahead and create that. And now you can see the track, and the intensity reflects where the maxes occur. So you can see the very bright square at the top is 95, and that's the track that I created. So it's events of this type where this variable's at a max with the intensity in the squares. And there you have it, maps. One very last note, you can resize this if you have too many maps. And remember, you can control which maps are seen through here, and you can save and restore views of saved maps using this menu. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy using the product.